Is it just me, or is the trickiest part of this track on... Oh, damn Nando's! I thought you could order it, you little shit! Oh, screw you. But Ozan coming through Ascari takes a lot of curve on the way out, but he's getting through safe. But I don't think I want to be doing that in the race, just in case, because I get pooey on there. I'm good. But comes around the Parabolica. This seems to be where everyone's really struggling for traction at the moment. But Ozan goes through nice and tight and keeps it really clean there, so that should be good through there. Not going to be up top, but he's at 129.4, so it's something to build on. One thing I am noticing though is you're only going to be able to do one push lap compared to what you used to do last game, where you could do a couple and still have enough ERS. Cause
yeah, the ERS
scores 35%.
Yeah. It kills the ERS.
Yeah, which is a bit annoying because even last game round somewhere like here, you could still do a couple of laps and build up. Ooh, don't know if Jake Lee wanted to go in the pits then, but kind of nearly forced him to. We had a right thanks lap around Parabolica and sort of halfway towards the pit lane, halfway not. But keeps it out. You nearly did a U then, Pi. For anyone that doesn't know, Pi likes flashing his pit walls. So.
Yeah, if you're not going to win the race, you may as well just crash into the end of the race. This is fun, isn't it? It's a spectacle.
You are a spectacle, I'll give you that. But Jake Lee looking very, very out of shape around a few of these bits, so I'm not sure if he's got the confidence yet on this setup in these conditions, because he's one of our quicker development drivers, so he's worth keeping an eye on, but it looks like he's struggling a little bit today so far, but obviously he's only done a couple of laps so far. But our current pole sitter's heading on his out lap, so he's going to be going for another run. Then I'll pop on board now with Chappie, who's just starting his lap.
Jake Lee doesn't look comfortable in his setup at all.
He looks very, very wobbly.
Yeah.
He's having a wibble wobble.
His buddy
all my development peeps know that. Chappie's looking a little bit more confident this time around. Where was it that he spun last time? Was it Lesmo?
Last corner.
Ah.
Power down too early, or he must have run another wide going into the gravel, and then I just caught the back end of it once he went into the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really
but he's looking alright. He's gone purple in sector 2, so he's looking a little bit more confident on this one. Keeps it nice and smooth through Ascari there.
On board with those on.
I think he's going to be heading back into the pits, I think. He did a lap not that long ago. But Chappie comes around Parabolica. Oh, he must have fueled up. Done a recharge lap. Which is probably a smart move.
Yeah,
but
he done
Chappie
a recharge
takes a
lap,
nice wide line, pops it into P3 with a 128.7. So closest challenger at the moment to Southis is Explicit Simo.
It's going to be Ozan, I think.
Oh really? Alright, we'll pop on board now with Ozan and see how he's getting on. So he's just under 8 tenths up on his time, but let's see where he goes. So 128.4, so it's getting very, very tight between P2 and P3 especially. It's only 5,000 that's been between the two of them. But we've got...
Oh, what about Jay Wells? He's 5
Lee
seconds down, isn't it?
Jake Lee's 1.7 seconds up. So looking a little bit more confident this time around. Should just about have enough ERS to get around the Parabolica. And he pops in a 128.7, so that's a bit more representative from him there. But our P1 down to P...
Chappie Cho is 2.5 tenths up.
P1 down to P8, all separated by a second, so it's getting pretty tight. Wasted on slower lap out the
Chappie Cho is 2 seconds up. No, 2.5 tenths, 2 seconds.
Ooh. I was going to say, lap of the century. But Blackworm coming towards one of our sector breaks.
Chappie
puts it at 128.2. Nice one, mate.
Chappie Cho. La 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 la. Choppy, choppy, choke, choppy, choke, choppy, choppy, choke.
There you go, you got your own little song there for Pie. Can I clip that?
Yeah.
And just have that as like a sing song? Cool. But we got Blackwell going around the Parabolica now. Literally, it's not called the Parabolica anymore, but I refuse to call it anything else. It's just the Parabolica. Like, you can't call the Parabolica anything other than Parabolica.
Shagabolica.
Oh! Wasted was 3 seconds up on his Delta then, and he'd invalidated. Oh, that was going to be a hell of a time. Oh. Well, he'll be popping in the pits, I'm guessing, because I doubt he'll have enough. Yeah,
I refuse to believe that was
fuel.
3 seconds.
It was? You can check my stream.
So you reckon he was on a 26.3?
That's what it said. The clock don't lie.
Shouldn't be in
See,
development.
2 seconds up.
It shouldn't be in development if that's the case.
I don't know. That's wasted. Oh, maybe he went straight at the first corner.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. If he did, he has a row for that.
Bit of conspiracy time. Dan says 10-second penalty for Pie singing.
Dan, at least I sing and have fun, mate.
Fucking hell.
To the hoe down.
Oh god. His favourite song. Boom boom clap, boomty clap clap, boom boom clap. Whoa whoa. Oh my god. What? What are you two on about?
Sounded like he was stabbed then.
No, Gary and Dan are being weird. As per.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what is that anything?
Oh, pistol! Oh, he dipped a wheel on the grass then.
Oh, I
He
missed
just
her.
spun it on the straight.
I missed her.
Everything dramatic you miss. Oh, it does look like it's starting to rain a little bit heavier again though, doesn't it? Will we see times improve? That is the question. Gary says can't park there, mate.
Can't park there, mate.
You're just...
Sue!
Ah, is that what JC had written on her phone when she shoved it in front of your face? At Canada? Is that what she wrote on your phone that she wanted you to read? Or explain it?
I want one of this, Mr. Tyson.
I'm gonna check out F1 Immortal. I don't know if the times are gonna improve because it does definitely look a lot wetter now, doesn't it?
2 tenths down, explicit Tyson is.
Yeah. It's looking a lot wetter. Which, if it is, that's lucky for Pistol because it means that he won't be dropping anywhere near as much as he potentially would have been if the track had been ramping up. But let's see what Pistol's sector time's like. He's about 3 seconds down, close to. So I'm not sure if we're going to see times improve here. So you're on with Tyson.
I'm on Bob with J Wills now. Tyson was 3 tenths down. Oh, you're echoing that.
Simo's about 8.5 tenths down.
Yeah.
I really need to find your heads up. But no, it doesn't look like times are going to start improving. Sector 1, he's about just under 2 tenths down.
Oh, J Wills going to the back end up there then.
Look at Jordan though, up in P7.
Yeah, it's a good,
Great
good result
performance
for him.
from him. Yeah. He's getting a lot more confident the more he does. He's getting more and more confident, it's good to see.
I'm going to have a look at Ozan's first sector Delta.
It's like Richard Wilson's having a bit of a nightmare today with joining the lobby. But explicit Simo coming through a Scari there.
Ozan is nearly 4 tenths down.
Yeah, track. Yeah. Doesn't look like the track's going to be improving until, so it looks like this is going to be a qualifying order. So your top 5 is going to be Chappie Chio on pole position.
I'd like to see one of the ones who were in the pits chuck the wet tyres on him.
Yeah, although even then you're going to be slower.
I know, but I'd like to see
Track's
that.
wetter.
I'd like to see that.
What are you two talking about in
What
my
else
chat
have we
right
got
now?
to lose
I'm
in
so
it?
confused.
If you're in like 5th. So like a JP
I'm so
just sat in the
confused.
pits.
I don't blame him. I don't think I'd be bothering going out because it's not going to improve. Like, you got 2 minutes 50. Like, it gives you the chance to do one more run if you really wanted to, but I can't see the track improving at all. It's the thing. I mean, George Stout is only 600ths off. So I'll stick with him and see if he's able to pull anything out of the bag.
Is Jake Lee watching your stream?
Don't know.
Out he comes.
I had Nando's now bit.
Nah, did echo. You have to swap it out.
I can't sort it out. There's literally nothing I can do. So.
Well.
But George Southis bails on his lap. He goes into the pit, so must have felt like he wasn't going to improve at all. Ozan's 2 seconds down. Explicit Simo coming out of the Scary 3.5 tenths down. Had a bit of a spin there for Jake Lee as he was coming out on his out lap. He, guessing he lit the tyres up a little bit too quickly coming out of that first chicane there.
Yeah, I think that's your qualifying.
Yeah, I think it is. I can't see anything else changing.
No.
But performance of qualifying for me though there is Jay Wills up in P7.
Jake Lee has crashed. Jake Lee has crashed.
Yeah. But Jay Wills up in P7. Shock for me. It's a tight one between having Wasted down in P9 and having Nick Willis down in P11 for me. But Williams are looking pretty strong up in P1 and P2 for the time being. Oh, Gary's going to an aqua park. You're too old for them, mate. Oh, ask if you can have those little floaty things on your arms just to help. I mean, your belly will help you float, but like, you never know. Gary says that you're a fat Welsh Murray, by the way. Whatever that means.
Shut up, you English prick.
I don't know what that means, so... Soz.
No, let me to be honest.
But Jake Lee's saying that he does not enjoy these conditions whatsoever. Not sure what it's going to be like for the actual race. I'll have a look and see if anyone said anything. It's only wet for qualifying, so I'm guessing that the majority of them are going to be running their dry setups and just hoping to get through. But let's have a look. If
Nick
anyone
Wills,
is able to improve
no,
at
it's
all.
3.5 tenths down, I said.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see if anyone did decide to use that wet setup, or if they just stuck it out with their dry one. I can't imagine anyone doing that, but you never know. I will be a little bit surprised if they do, but...
Ooh, after qualifying is finished as well.
With Nick, with Room then, not sure what happened then. They look quite a decent way away from each other, so not sure. But that will be costly, because with that 5 place grid penalty, that will drop him right down to the back of the grid. As F1 Immortal goes in the chat saying, I'm happy in the back so I can see the chaos in T1. I feel that. Horrible T1 here at Monza. It's never nice. It is a properly horrible T1. But saying that, it was quite tame last night, wasn't it? To be fair, it wasn't too bad last night. It is quite confusing because we've got 2 explicits in here.
Just remember, mate, this is not the qualifying for the future.
Yeah, this is just the qualifying for your first race, and then grid for the second race is set based on the results from the first race. But we also have full points for the first race, which essentially halved what we have for the normal. So that makes me even more annoyed that France isn't the first the sprint race. You know that. France is my track, but people didn't want it for the sprint, which is depressing.
It's not all about you. Not all about you.
As we've got. Well, yeah, it is because I help run it, so I get my way. Yeah, no, literally, I have no say in any of it. Like, the only thing I said is please don't make it Japan, and I'm pretty sure it is at Japan, so that's just going to be a double DNF for me. So no points for me. Woo!
It'll be DNF.
But as Dan very kindly reminds people in the chat, if anyone crashes into anyone in T1, they have to buy the admins a pint. That's a good rule. I like this rule.
And commentators.
So which and commentators, so it's been added to. And then Gary said that you'll have a cup of sheeches.
A pint of wine.
But you have that anyway. But Dusty asked where can he sign up to be an admin. Just let us know, mate. To be an admin, you have to buy Dan beers. That's a lie. Dan doesn't need any extra beers. Dan's already got all the beers that he needs. He's fine. Me, you need to give beers to. Yeah, comms is pretty chill tonight, Gary, to be fair. Oh, you know what?
Comms is always chill.
Tuesday versus Thursday should be me and you. That'll be well funny. Because I'm obviously Tuesday, you're Thursday. So we can just bicker. We're like the two best bickerers in the whole league. We'd be amazing at it.
You and Gary?
Nah, me and you.
Oh no, Gary is.
No, we're not having blood pool in here. No. Absolutely not.
He's doing something, like conspiracy something against his government, yes.
What?
He's conspiring something against his government. He's American, isn't he?
Blood pool?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it's only 9 laps in the sprint. God, that's quick. Speedy race. But we're seeing facts in the chat right now. Tuesdays are massive. So if you drive on Thursday, that's literally that's what Gary says. Like your gut. Literally, it's just me and you bickering, and then Gary and Dan bickering in chat. That's all that's happening today, apparently. So
Thursday are massive. Tuesday is petrified. Tuesday is massive. Tuesday is petrified.
Oh my god. Batshit. Hi. Can you do me a favour?
What?
Can you turn the footy down a little bit, just because otherwise I get a copyright strike? I don't want a copyright
FIFA
strike.
it is. It's only FIFA.
How is it FIFA?
I'm playing FIFA.
How are you playing FIFA?
Shh. Not your fucking belt.
Right.
It's FIFA, right?
Okay. Okay. I don't know if Twitch is gonna care, but okay.
It's FIFA.
But
did you hear about that guy
Chappies.
who streamed the live UFC, but he was holding a controller, pretending to play UFC, and he got away with it?
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
Beast.
But Chappie out front's gonna have a really long wait, but Ozan and Jake Lee both disqualifying in their pit box. So that's really gonna hurt them down to T1 down here, because they're both gonna have cold tyres now.
I don't think so. Whatever you start, whatever you want to grid with, that's what start.
It used to. Definitely used to. I don't know if they've changed it or not, but all 15 drivers lined up now, so as we've got a weird desync there, but it's sorted itself out. But let's see how everyone gets away. Looks like the Mercedes there of Explicit gets an amazing start, but he's got quite boxed in. So not sure if, but that's allowed the Alfa Romeo to start moving his way up as well. Looks really clean into T1 from everyone, so great to see that. Really great driving from everyone, so thank you for not giving me one heart attack. It's always a bit of a scary T1 is that one, no matter who you're racing, but George Southis and Chappie Gio straight away started to scrap it out, and George gets the move done down towards the second chicane there. But Pistol getting a little bit out of shape. It's settled down a little bit now, but it looks like we've got one spin there towards the back between F1 Immortal and Richard Wilson. They both managed to keep it out of the wall, no damage at all, but they're still going. But very close grid at the moment. We've got Explicit Titan getting relatively close now to the pack in front of him. Pistol getting very close to the back of Ozan here, who runs very wide out of Ascari, keeps it flat. I'm not sure if that's going to give him a warning, I'm guessing it will. But he's on the inside going towards Parabolic, and that was
a little bit optimistic by Pistol Racing.
Yeah, a little bit optimistic there. He just wasn't quite far enough in front. It's a tricky corner to go side by side through.
He wasn't even side by side, to be honest though. Explicit going on Ozan.
Yeah, Explicit straight away on Ozan, decides to back out of it on this occasion. He's still got about 7 laps or so to go, but gets very wobbly on the exit, which allows Jake Lee to slip through. So Jake Lee's now up to P4, which is roughly whereabouts he was on... Dan and Gary keep making up rules.
Did you say on you were Delta that 10th and 12th?
Room, yeah, there's a decent, but it's only on the timing screen, so it's all good. As we've got as George Southis in fact has had a spin there at the first Lesmo from the looks of it. He's able to get back going again though, but that's really cost him. It's dropped him all the way down to P15 pretty much. So Pistol and George Southis are P1 and P4 was it? I think it was. All the way down now in the back of the grid, so a few people have managed to move up considerably. Sheetroot, who started right at the back, towards the back there, up into P7. As Dan says that every time there's a corner cut penalty, you have to say that you love the Queen of England. As Explicit Titan also has a spin around curve Parabolica, so a few drivers really struggling with the Parabolica today. It looks like they're just trying to take a little bit too much speed through. As we've got DRS enabled now, Chappie's got a nice comfortable gap on himself to Ozan down in P2. But Jake Lee's going to look to start putting a little bit of pressure on Ozan now as he gets a really good exit out of that chicane. Going around the outside, is he going to be able to get the move done before the chicane? It looks like he's got the move done already. So a bad exit from Ozan there is very costly and gets the run done
fighting him behind
already. Oh, go on Wasted and Jordan. That's what we want to see. As Vroom and Blackworm having a little bit of a scrap, just a little bit further down. But very bunched up from P7 all the way down to P11. Everyone within about 2 or 3 tenths of each other as Vroom... Richard Wilson with a cracking move then on Blackworm. He's just slowly working his way through the field. But Nick Willis now also getting in on the action with the Haas as well. But it looks like he's able to move it up into P9. But everyone from P7 down to P13 is having a bit of a scrap here. So it's just going to be a drag race now between a few of these cars as Jake Lee sets the fastest time on those medium compound tyres. I'm guessing everyone's going to be running the mediums. A couple of people on the softs actually. Let's have a look what tyres people are on. So the only person that we've got on those softs is Richard Wilson in P8, but they've really worked for him because he's moved all the way up from P15 to P8. But it will be as we've got a bit of a missed braking point there from Blackworm, but he wisely chooses to go down that escape road and backs off to let everyone back through, so exactly what we want to see there from him. But Richard Wilson, do you reckon those will last 9 laps? They should do, shouldn't they?
Softs, yeah.
Yeah, they should just about manage 9 laps. It'll be interesting to see what the deck's like though on them, as we've got a bit of a tyre not tyres, swapping positions down with Pistol and Black Worm, but that's settled itself out now, so I'm going to stick back with Richard Wilson in P8. And George Stalfis looking to get the move done here on Nick Willis as well. Looks like with that DRS help he's able to get the move done just before Ascari. Really close grid though. But Chappie only 1.1 in front of Jake Lee now. We've got a spin there at the back for Pistol once again, so he's having a bit of a nightmare of a sprint here. Still got another race to go though, so he's got plenty of time to be able to make those positions back. But Jake Lee now within that 1 second of Chappie, so he's going to start feeling the pressure a little bit relatively soon. Got 4 laps to defend, so let's see if Chappie's able to hang on to it. But Richard Wilson, once again, very close to the back of Vroom in that Red Bull. I can't see there being any conspiracy theorists saying about the sister team parking it in that AlphaTauri and letting the Red Bull have the win. I can't see that happening today. Because it looks like Richard Wilson's wanting this position for himself. I don't know about you. As Gary very kindly informs me in the chat that Liverpool are 1-0 down. Hi, your fault.
I'm always sharp and watching it.
But Froome looking to get the move done now.
Gary, come back when you're in the Champions League, but.
Manages to get the move done just before Ascari. Sheerick gets that 3-second time penalty, but gets a great exit out there of the Ascari. So it's going to be a drag race now down to the Parabolica. Who's running lower wings here? Looks like Vroome's got the move done once again.
Oh, explicit's gone. Some more. Oh.
But Sheerick runs a little bit wide there. But getting that DRS. So it's going to be a tight one down into T1. Who's going to back out? Are either of them going to back out really nice and safely through there, side by side through the first chicane?
Oh!
Little bit of a rub of wheels there with Richard Wilson.
Oh, he's in!
Oh!
Car park there, mate.
Always. But they're back running both of them. So what to say now? George Stalfis looking to close back up, but we'll pop up to Jake Lee, who's half a second on Chappie. Reduced damage, Gary, is a wonderful thing.
Jake Lee's caught up a Chappie.
Yeah, on board with that now. Let's see how much of a gap he can make up. It's 5.5 tenths going onto that start finish straight.
Chappie has no ERS really, and Jake Lee has 65.
Oh, so this could just be a matter of patience here from the Ferrari.
Should have him, but you know, with a better exit.
He's got no confidence in the wet at all, but let's see what he's able to do now. We're in dry conditions as we've got a spin there for Explicit Tyson once again through that Parabolica. It looks like both Explicits have had a bit of a moment at Parabolica, but they've got that going again. But this is
Jake Lee!
Oh, Jake had a big wobble there. It looked like he dipped to wheel.
He's lost that DRS, he needs to use his ERS though.
But he should be able to close back up. He's still got the 2 laps to do it. So he's not going to get the DRS now, but he's got plenty of that ERS to be able to use. He's got 71% there. As we've got another spin there at the back for Pistol Racing. He's really not having a great time right now. But it looks like that potentially might have been a corner cut warning there for Jake Lee. He took a lot of curb on the inside going into Ascari. But he is back in that DRS range now, so he should be able to get DRS down the main straight. He is starting to use that ERS from the looks of it as well. As George Stalfis is getting very, very close now to Vroom in the... I love saying that name, it's such a good name. But they're going side by side down towards the Parabolica. He backs out of it, but he gets a good run on that inside line and gets a great slingshot out, but they're still side by side going down that main straight. So who's
that's not a good exit by Chappie in turn 1.
Looks like that position should be cemented now, but he gets a really great run on him down the back straight, even without that DRS. But it looks like George Stalfus has moved up to P6. They will jump back on board now with Jake Lee and Chappie. Hopefully he gets through here a little bit safer. He takes it a lot tighter that time. Don't think he was trying to maximise it as much as he did last time.
Chappie goes in a little bit deep. Oh, for the better exit. That's a nice exit that is with Chappie.
He's got the gap up again to about half a second, but this is going to be very, very tight. He's got one
This
lap
is where you want to be now.
this.
You need to be right up his gearbox coming out of the last corner.
If it was me, I would probably hang back on this next straight.
Yeah, no, this needs to happen on the next straight, on the last DRS straight. Well, I know it's not the last DRS straight, but he's got more ERS to pull away. He's got more ERS to defend on the last DRS straight.
Yeah.
Oh, Chappie's let him go. Now this is where he wants to use his ERS.
Strategy.
Now he needs to use his ERS. Oh! 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 They've both gone! Ozan is gonna win! Ozan Army! Ozan Army! Oh, wasted got the DRS.
Seeing that. Oh, not sure who the inside line was.
This is a three-way battle now. This is a three-way battle.
Oh! Come on, boys! Big drama in the development league, but look at this top three.
Have you got it on your stream now, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, mate.
God. As we got Pistol having another little moment there in Lesmo 1.
Wasted. He needs to take his time behind Ozan, not rush it. He needs to wait for that DRS.
But he's got his teammate behind him, and I don't think he's going to be satisfied with just giving that position up. So let's see what happens here. But Chappie having a little wobble there through Lesmo 1.
Jay Wills has got a little bit more ERS. If he can keep it clean through the Sascari coming out and use the CRS.
Let's see what they can do. Oh, Jay Will's got a really cracking exit there. Come on, mate.
He didn't turn his ERS off, and that could cost him.
Come on, man. Oh, it's tight.
He's got the better exit.
Oh,
he's got the better exit.
Go on, Jordan. Go on, Jordan.
Yes, he's got it. He's got the second. He's got the second place from the stage.
Oh, look how tight that was.
What a last lap.
22,000's in it.
That was brilliant.
Bloody hell.
That was brilliant. Then the big crash and then the racing. Fair play to him.
Madness. Absolute madness. But Jake Lee's already apologising to Chappie, just saying that he lost the rear. So, bit of a shocker for the year top 5 there, but it should be on for a pretty good race now.
Wow. What looked like a 2-horse
I don't know
race
what to say.
Chappie and Jake Lee was didn't even happen. It was between Ozan and Jay Wills and wasted. I
don't know
think
what to say.
that's Ozan's first league race win.
I think so.
I think it is his first win in league racing.
It's good racing and development league, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, my thing's gone weird. Ah! Right, everyone ignore this because Codemasters is rubbish. So my game's gone weird.
That's Ozan is on pole as well.
Ozan on pole.
So this has spiced it up. This of Jake Lee down in 6th, Chappie down in 9th. 2 people that were on for that win there then.
But it just goes to show what keeping your nose out of trouble does, doesn't it?
Well, this changed people's strategies as well, because it wasn't a safety car in that one. So you can't really be hoping for a safety car in this race either, no?
Mad things, bro. Mad things.
Bad things, bruv.
Mad things, bruv. Chaos. Pure chaos. Let's have a look at what tyres people have decided to start on, shall we? So we've got 2 people starting on the hards, everyone else on the medium. So Jake B starts on the hards and Rich Wilson starts on the hards. I know that is one thing that you do get because of that reduced damage model. You do get far less safety cars typically because it takes a lot to DNF a car. As we got a bit of an incident there at the back, not sure what happened there between Richard Wilson and Pistol, but they'll be on the starting grid already.
This is going to be another fucking penalty.
Pistol having a bit of a nightmare today. Great to see Ozan and J Wills up there though.
You can't give that for a penalty. He will though. He's giving a penalty again. Fuck off.
But we've got Ozan on the front row with J Wills. Let's see how they get on. Down into T1, shall we? They both get a really good start. Oh, J Wills has a bit of a wobble there, but keeps it going and facing the right way. So hopefully everyone takes it nice and sensibly into T1 once again. Looks like everyone's getting through very sensibly. So this is great to see once again. So 2 T1s at Monza, 2 really, really clean T1s at Monza, which is what we want to see.
Yes, Allison! Come on!
In case anyone can't tell, Pi is watching the football, whilst also helping doing cars. Oh god.
Excuse me.
You get on. But it's Ozan still out in P1, George Stelk is in P2 and Wasted in P3. So J Wills has dropped down a little bit just to go a little bit safe on this time.
Oh, Chappie did a move on Nick Wills.
Yeah, that was a nice little move there from Chappie as he thought that Nick Wills got a little bit squirrely on the outside.
Had 2 Hasses going side by side, coming on the last straight.
Spicy. Ooh, gets very, very out of shape going into a Ascari, which compromised his teammate a little bit, but this brought Explicit Simo into it as well.
Vroom should have the run on Black Worm as well going into the final corner.
But George Stelk is already all over Ozan, so let's see.
Oh, there's 2 Hasses in the back of each other.
Well.
Oh, that was not good at all, that wasn't. from Blackburn, if I'm being perfectly honest.
But George Stout and Ozan side by side going down towards T1. Ozan chooses to back out on this occasion, so it's George Stout is out in front now. Ozan P2 and Wasted in P3. Still with that little desync there, so sorry about that, guys. But Ferrari of Jake Lee getting very, very close now to the back of the Alpine, but looks like he's going for a move down the inside into the chicane. Let's see if he's able to make it stick. He takes a lot of curb, but the Alpine there of Nick Wills just takes a wider line in to make sure that he's always got enough room. So great bit of racing there between the two of those drivers, but Explicit Tyson in the other Alpine gets very out of shape in Lesmo 1, but manages to keep it pointing the same right way, as we have a little yellow flag there for one of the Hasses towards the back, but nothing too dramatic. Explicit Tyson with a great run on his teammate once again, but he's going to stay behind for the time being. But gets a brilliant run out of the Ascari, so let's see what he's able to do here. As Chappie starts closing himself up on the back of Wasted now. But let's see what he's able to do, shall we? As they go side by side already, so he gets a brilliant run to Explicit Tyson, gets the move done already, but Nick Willis choosing to drop back into that slipstream. But nothing going to get done, but he does go very deep, but manages to cover it back off with his line through the middle of the chicane there.
What happened to Jace 2 Fliss?
What's this? I noticed that.
No, I was watching football.
I was too busy watching this little scrap between the two Alpines.
Wasted is all over Ozan, mind at the front with Chappie in behind.
But Nick Wills still really close to the back of his teammate here, but this is pulling in Jay Wills and Pistol racing in behind into this little scrap as well, so it's going to turn into a four-way scrap fairly quickly, but Chappie getting very close once again to Wasted now that DRS is enabled.
Oh.
But obviously that DRS train out in front is going to be cancelled out by Wasted getting that DRS off of Ozan also. So the one place you don't want to be around here is that front of the train. Oh, as Explicit Tyson gets all out of shape through Ascari and has that spin coming out, but he does keep it facing the right way, so he doesn't get any damage at all, but his tyres will be very, very hot now, so you will need to be very careful through a Parabolica to make sure that they cool down in time. As we got Pistol getting very close now to the back of Jay Wills. He's going to get the DRS here, so let's see if he can get the move done. He's dropped back a little bit, so it doesn't look like he's got the best exit, as Ozan and Wasted going wheel to wheel through T1 and T2, and there's a little bit of contact there between Chappie and
Wasted and Ozan.
But both of them stay facing the right way. It's cost him a little bit of time here to Wasted out in front, but no harm done. Chappie going for a look down the inside and gets the move done into the braking zone there of the second chicane. But this is all pulled Jake Lee down in P4 into the mix as well on those hard compound tyres, so you'd argue that Jake Lee probably looking the strongest for the time being down in P4 on that hard compound. But we'll keep an eye on how his times are looking compared to it. But Jay Wills closing up now on the back of Nick Willis.
I didn't notice Jake Lee is on the hards.
Yeah. Shows how much he listens to me, doesn't it, guys?
Did you say that, yeah?
Yeah, like 2 seconds ago. Oh, dear. But no, it looks like Jordan's really liking Monza, doesn't it?
Oh, we got a yellow flag for
a
Haas.
But Jake Lee closing up now really quickly on the back of the Alfa Romeo there of Ozan. Is he going to go for a look into T1? Looks like he backs out of it and plays the patient game here. But Jay Wills once again getting very, very close to the back of Nick Wills. He does take a lot of curb on the way out of that first chicane, which compromises his exit a little bit and lets Pistol Racing back into the mix. But he keeps the car facing to the right way, which is what you are hoping for. As Blackburn does get a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's pitted on that 5, so not sure if he had a bit of wing damage there.
Jake Lee does not like the exit of that chicane.
No.
Wasted's pulling out a nice 1.5 second gap, 1.6.
Yeah, they're having a little scrap T2, P3, P4,
Yeah.
so it's freeing up him a little bit.
Blackwim goes on the softs.
I'm guessing he's going to be
pistol racing is all over the back of J Wills.
Yeah, I've got it on. Don't worry.
Well, what's front three on?
Well, if you capture that P3, P2, P3,
yeah,
P3, P4, sorry, I'll stick on board with these guys. It's looking like J Will's going for a look down the inside into T1. Looks like he's got the move done in advance of the braking zone, so that P5 position for the time being looking like it's his. So Nick Will has got to start concentrating on keeping Pistol, who's only 4 tenths behind him. But F1 Immortal looking to hopefully try and get a move done now on Sheetrut. He's very close to the back of him as well. But Jake Lee, 3 tenths down on Ozan in P4.
Yeah, Jake Lee has got 73% ERS and Ozan haven't got any, so this is a foregone conclusion. It's just when. But Ozan is slightly losing that ERS to Charpy. Charpy's taking it down to 1.2 mind, though, wasted.
Yeah. There's a really competitive little grid is this, but Pistol starting to close up to the back now of J Wills as Nick Willis there gets very out of shape through Ascari, concedes the position, but this
Charpy's going to get
through
DRS
into the mix as well.
Charpy's going to get DRS and Ozan is not from Charpy.
I think Jake Lee is going to be ready to pounce here. He gets a good exit out, he's about half a second back, so let's see how quickly he's able to close that gap.
Yeah, this is done before the braking zone is
all the time. But he's side by side now, let's see if he is fully ahead, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's
Ozan backs out of that one. As we've got a spin there for Explicit Tyson coming out of Ascari. But Ozan right on the back already of Jake Lee, gets a really good run out of that first chicane every time.
I'm staying on board with Charpy.
As George Stalfus and Broom having a little bit of a scrap here. Also coming down towards the chicane. Looks like he's backing out of that one.
I think Wasted went too early on his tyres. I think his tyres are going. You can just see Charpy is much more confident on the power.
Yeah. But we will pop really quickly up to this front little battle as we head down into the braking zone now of Ascari. Chappie's a lot more confident out of Ascari as well, so will he go for the move in advance of the braking zone for the parabolic, or does he hand back and see if he can use that ERS assistance, DRS, sorry. He hangs back. And let's see how quick this gap dwindles down. It's 4 tenths now, but it's not disappearing very quickly at all. It looks like Wasted's trying to empty his battery, but he's running far less downforce now than Chappie. Oh, very, very late. He somehow makes it stick vaguely, but I think Wasted saw it coming a little bit, so he allowed plenty of room there, just in case there was something happening a little bit late.
That was going to win us, that was by Wasted, to be honest.
But Chappie hinging it down the outside now into the next chicane. He settles in behind the McLaren for the time being, but he's getting quite ready and waiting to get this move done. But Jake Lee now only 2 tenths behind also in P3, and Ozan 8 tenths behind that. So let's see how they get on.
You think Jay Wills will be closing the gap up with all this fighting going on, but he's chilling on his own. Yeah, he's chilling on his own, he is.
He's doing a cracking job at the moment.
Yeah, because you've got Jason Fist. You've got Jason Fist fighting with Pistol behind. So they're not Strufist are just taking Pistol, actually.
But Nick Willis also very, very close to the back of the room. They've been having a really cracking battle, those two drivers. As Pistol gets a 3-second time penalty there as well for corner cutting. But Chappie, 3.5 tenths back now, doesn't always get the best run around the Parabolica, but let's see what he's able to do. He gets a much better run this time.
We know exactly what happened last time Chappie and Jake Lee were the same.
Yeah, he's a lot closer now though. Little bit of a squeeze there from
Chappie.
Chappie.
Oh, that was a little bit of a tap. That was, you could see that from Ozan's.
Gets a bit late as well, as Wasted gets all sorts of out of shape through that first chicane, takes far too much curb and ends up skipping over the top of it. And ends up a little bit sideways, but he backs out of that and everyone survives to tell the tale. But it's Chappie in P1, Jake Lee in P2, Ozan in P3, and then Wasted in P4. But let's see what happens. But we'll pop on board with Pistol and check in on how this battle for P6 and P5 is going. At the moment, it's still J Will out in front in that P5 position, but G Southis is starting to hunt him down, our pole sitter, on that wet intermediate compound. So he had a lot of confidence with the setup. But Explicit Simo getting that 3-second time penalty as well, but we're a lot better on the time penalty side of things compared to last week, so it's good to see that drivers are getting a little bit more aware of where those white lines are and how much you can push the track limits. But we will pop back up on board now with Ozan, who's going to be looking to see if he can get the move done on Jake Lee in P2. But George Stout is starting to close the gap now on the McLaren.
What are you doing?
That's the football, guys, the football. George South is 2 tenths back on Jay Wills, but he's just not got that straight line speed compared to the McLaren. It's a much better exit out of that chicane. So let's see how these two get on. They're both side by side going down towards that next chicane. It looks like it's Williams in front and then McLaren behind. But lovely little bit of wheel-to-wheel action there between the two of them. But George Stark is getting the move done. It's going to be Pistol starting to hunt down Jay Wills now. And so we will see how the Mercedes gets on. Let's see if he's able to get past this time, because last year's Italian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton was really struggling to get past the McLaren of Lando Norris, if anyone remembers that. Yeah, I know, Jack. Watching the football in the background is wildly entertaining. We just get random outbursts. But Pistol racing, Jack. But Pistol trying to close that gap on Jay Wills, but Jay Wills up in P6, having probably the best race that I've seen him have so far. So it's great seeing him up there. He got a P2 in the sprint race. Currently running in P6 purely on merit, so it's a great performance from him. No safety cars as of yet. We've got a spin there from Tyson.
Are the medium tyres starting to go off now, then odds coming into play?
Yeah, it's coming up towards your pit window. I pitted on lap 11, I believe it was, so this is when I pitted, but your recommended pit stop is lap 12 on those mediums to go on to the hards. So these hards that Jake Lee is running is going to be in their element. It did seem to be an overcut as well yesterday. So it would be interesting to see if that's still the case today, because if it is, then Jake Lee is going to be on a cracking strategy today. But Chappie still 2 tenths back, but George Stout is now getting very close to the back of the McLaren. Still not close enough to get that move done though, but Jay Wills is putting up a staunch defence here, but looks like George Stout gets a slightly better run out of the Ascari. So it's going to be a drag race down towards the Parabolica now, but I'm guessing that Jay Wills is just going to slot back over, as is Wasted in fact. But it is George Stalkis that manages to cement that P4 position, but the McLaren's scrapping it away. But Jay Will's going on a slightly different strategy as his teammate pops into the pits there, as does Ozan and Pistol Racing. So the medium runners that are still out on track are Chappie Gio and George Stalkis here, and Jay Wills as well, who's right on the back still of George Stalkis, but about a 5.5 second gap here between Chappie Gio and George. As Jack asked, what is the score in the football?
Liverpool losing 2-0.
Liverpool are losing 2-0, so it's not going too well. But no safety cars this race, no safety cars in the safety either. But Chappie, once again, closing up on the back of Jake Lee. Still not got enough pace to get the move done, but it might be worth Chappie thinking about going into the pits, because as much time as he spends scrapping it out with Jake Lee out in front, he's losing time to those people that he is actually battling with on the same strategy, because this is going to be holding him up slightly. It does explain the shouting, Jack. As Chappie does decide to jump into the pits to get onto those hard compound tyres. So this frees Jake Lee up, and he's going to want to start pumping in the lap times now to see if he can maximise that overcut wherever possible. It sounds so weird. Oh dear. But Jake Lee out in front, George South is P2, Jay Wills in P3. But we'll pop on board now with Sheetrut, who's getting quite close now to the back of Ozan. Ozan having pitted and Sheetrut having not. But when you do come out of the pits, you need to be so... Oh, did he?
Coming out of 2 and 1 recap, there's right.
Yeah, you've got to be so careful on this outlap. I know it sounds really dodgy, doesn't it, Jack? Oh dear. But Nick Wills 3 tenths off the back of Wasted, obviously on those new hard compound tyres, so it's going to be tricky getting them up to temperature, but once they do come up to temperature, they feel like a pretty good race tyre for me yesterday. How did you get on with the... Oh, did you race yesterday or not? You didn't race yesterday, did you?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the hard felt pretty good yesterday.
But we'll stick with Ozan, who's 8 tenths off Chappie at the moment, as we've got a spin there for his Twisted Titan once again.
But not I'm gonna chill. Bye, Jack.